All right, guys, we have some more Wonderlands news, and that is in the form of a lot of concept art that just dropped over on IGN's channel. If you guys would like to go check it out over there, I will link their article in the description. But if you want to hear my opinions and talk about every little nitty gritty detail, be sure to stick around. And if you guys would like to see more Wonderlands and Witch Queen content, consider doing all the normal YouTube stuff. I truly appreciate it. But starting off, as you see right here in our first concept art, we actually have a AR. It looks like a Vladov AR or a Stoker from Wonderlands. And this is actually in the form of the crossbow attachment. As you see, AR crossbow. And what happens, it looks like it's just going to drop with the AR itself. As you see, we have base, then we have plus A, plus B, plus C, and it's just like different styles of it. As you see, like this one has something over the little circle parts right here, whereas this one doesn't. And this one has like a little hood on it. It's just going to be the fact that obviously, in Borderlands games, there's different parts on, every single gun in the game. Then down here, you also have pretty much everything, but some additional spikes. So plus A, plus B, plus C. It essentially just takes all of those, and that's the gun. Then if we actually go over here, it talks about the parts of what we're looking at. So we have Crystal Bayonet. So obviously this is just going to be a melee version. It's probably like plus 50% melee damage. Then we have arm movements load bolts and rotates barrel. So that is going to obviously load the bow itself. Then the gears rotate the barrel, and then insert magazine from side. So that's how you reload the gun. You can melee the gun. That's how arrows going to go into the thing, and that's just simply how the bow is going to work. You can even see that in like this gun right here. This isn't actually a Vladov. This looks like a Torque weapon with the crossbow attachment on it. So obviously different manufacturers are going to be able to have this crossbow on it and can roll with it. But hopefully that does help you understand the crossbows a little bit more. And also, obviously, this is concept art, so all this is subject to change when the game finally launches. But now to get into our next one, we have our Spore Warden. This is just showing him off as a character. He looks really, really cool. Then some of his like just armor over here. Then this is his armor without him in it. His armor looks super sick. I just see he has like those little ball things on that he has on his mushroom. He has some claws in this one right here. And there are going to be different armor sets. This is probably just going to be the base one, and he's just, your hunter type character, and he looks really, really sick. He has his cape, his hat, and all his other goodies. Again, into the next picture, we actually have our Bone Army concept art. So this is saying armor chest plus hips protection. So obviously this is just the skeleton, bone army that we're going to be fighting. They look really, really cool, but they actually are going to have armor. So, and you see skeletons can wear armor. This is the front end, this is the back end. Then they also have helmets. So you have it from, 3 different helmets right here. I don't know if that's going to vary in what the skeleton's like abilities actually do, but this is its front end and its back end. And this just seems to be overall normal armor if skeletons do wear armor. I'm pretty sure if they do have different abilities, the helmet is what's going to make them different. Like maybe this is like a warrior, this is like a spellcaster, and this is just like a archer or something. Could be something like that, but obviously we'll have to wait and see. But that is a look at the Bone Army. Now, next one, we have the Clawbringer. Clawbringer, again, this is just his concept art. It looks really, really cool. This is just his base character itself. Then he starts to get some armor on it. It has a winged cape, which is really, really cool. Obviously, it has his dragon companion. And, just some really spiky, it literally it just looks like a dragon almost, and all of its armor. The drawings are really, really cool over here. And it's pretty much nothing else to say about this. This is just some early concept art of what the Clawbringer looks like. But this next picture we have is really, really cool. And this is just a picture of what the story probably is going to be like in Wonderlands. You're just fighting a whole bunch of, skeletons. You obviously have the Dragon Lord. You have some huge dragon, which is probably the Dragon Lord's pet. Butt Stallions interfering. Probably going to play a huge part of the story. You have Paladin Mike over here. I'm pretty sure that's the name. Then you have a Necromancer, which probably seems like another notable character we just don't know much about yet. Then you have another character right here that's probably going to be notable. And you have some more right here. And it's just a bunch of stuff going on. It's a very, very cool art. It's definitely wallpaper level. And it's just a gigantic battle. If it comes to the end where, it's like an Avengers Endgame type thing for the end of the story, I think that could be really, really cool. And that might be what this picture is trying to tell us. But next picture is just our Grayborn companion. We have our base skull, mod A and mod B. So From that, it might seem like you could mod it, but maybe as you go down the skill tree for Grayborn, you could put different, helmets on it. Maybe it starts off as just this skull alone, which could be pretty cool. Then whatever skills you get into, probably like the 1 point game changer type skills, they'll add the armor onto it. So if you take both of them, you'll get both pieces. Or it could just be the drawing, and it's always going to look like this. Either way is really cool. The skull looks insanely cool, especially with this little armor, and I cannot wait to dive into the game with this little guy. Now we have a statue-esque type thing that's just like depicting, the whole story again. Just a bunch of skeletons that are chained by the Dragonborn, but the dragon is also chained over here by, I assume us, which could be a thing. Then you have Butt Stallion on top of the dragon as well. It looks like it's about to kill it. Gonna have a dragon and unicorn fight in the game. I don't know any better way to describe Wonderlands than that. But then you also have just candles. It's very, very cool. This also is wallpaper level. Like, this is a very, very cool picture. Now we have the Dragon Lord again. Just some concept art. This is his base character, then his armor. Once he has all his armor on, it gets up to here. Literally, he looks so, so cool. It reminds you a lot of the Clawbringer, because the Clawbringer is also dragon. Maybe their armor is made out of the same thing or something like that. There also is some text right here, or just some line of something. I don't know if this is a secret or if this is just, decorative. I'm not exactly sure. Then you have some stuff down here where it's just talking about his cape, so his clothes, it's open, stuff like that. But getting into the next picture, we have our goblins. It says special class attachments. So again, this is probably going to work just like the bone army I was talking about, where, each helmet probably acts different to what the special class actually does. So you have a pirate hat, then Tom's 2 earrings, then you have a ball sack is literally what they're calling it, an existing sash, badass cannon, and a scale. So this is just a cannoneer. This is a cannoneer goblin. He's gonna have all this. This is how you're gonna see this is a cannoneer goblin. He's just gonna sit back and shoot cannonballs at you. Probably gonna be pretty annoying, but this probably is just like a base little grunt they have for the goblin army, or this could be like a super strong one. I'm not exactly sure, but expect to see different ones when the game launches. Now we have our spell shot. Again, this is just a normal character. He actually has a backpack, which probably is going to carry his spells in it, but his armor looks really, really cool. And this is just the early concept drawing of the spell shot. He is obviously just basically the wizard with armor, which is, obviously insanely cool. I know a lot of people like that fantasy. I'm also one of those people, and I'm excited to play around when it launches. Now, we actually have a castle with its cute little face on it right there. I'm not exactly sure if this is the castle we saw in the gameplay that they released, and this is just like from the old world or the board that they're actually playing on. This is what we're seeing, because obviously in the game you're up in there literally first person killing things, but this is probably just the overworld perspective when you're walking into it, or again maybe like a cutscene where they're rolling the dice on the board. Not exactly sure, but it's really, really cool. I really like this, and it's extremely cute with the little smiley face in the rainbow too. But next picture, we actually have the shark with legs. We have its front and its back, the sides, so you can see its tail, the internal structure and attack dynamics of the mouth. So it looks extremely scary. Look at this mouth right here. What is this? That looks extremely scary. But this is gonna be like a skag type enemy, I'm assuming. It's just probably what's gonna replace skags. It's just a shark that comes up and bites you. It's probably not like a huge threat. There probably is gonna be like a really, really hard one in the game, maybe a boss one. It just, because it's funny. But I'm not exactly sure like what the like level of these enemies are gonna be. I feel like they probably are gonna be like skag like, but they do look very terrifying. Then in our next picture, we actually have a shotgun where it's talking about the crystals. So you have its base, then you have the base plus A, base plus B, and then base plus C. So it has changes in between all of them. And then obviously, if you actually take a look over here, so we have alternate base element inside crystal. I'm not sure if that's this container. I'm not exactly sure what that says. But then nodes open, release smoke, and skulls. So obviously, the crystal is like probably going to be a shotgun attachment, whereas the bow is going to be on something like ARs. But this is going to shoot out that energy that we've seen a lot. Then you just put more crystals in there. Then the nodes are going to open and release skulls and smoke when you probably have to reload it or the gun gets empty. So then you also have alternate guns, which again are more shotguns. This is clearly a Jacob shotgun or black powder in this game, and this is a clearly Torque shotgun, but it does have that crystal base on it. So you're going to be able to shoot spell guns and crossbow guns, a bunch of stuff like that, which is really, really cool. Now in the next picture, we actually have a Necromancer. I would imagine this is that main character we saw in that huge picture, but I'm not exactly sure. This could just be a random enemy type, or this could also be hinting that maybe we'll get additional class, the Necromancer, which could be really, really cool. We know we only have 6 classes right now, but if we actually do get a 7th class for the Necromancer, that would be insanely sick. Who knows, that could happen, but this is probably just some type of enemy somewhere in the game, since there are different variations and they probably do different sorts of things. But next picture, we have the Grayborn, which is what I'm most excited for. This is again just a scully dragging spell shot ish type character. This is his base suit over here. This is the early concept. As you see, there's a bunch of just like demonic things on him, which is really, really sick. He also looks like a Necromancer itself right here, which I think it kind of plays into the role, but obviously the role is just to hurt yourself and heal and do a lot of damage. Very, very fast play style. Super, super excited. And the Grayborn is always looking sick in my opinion. Next picture, we actually have a lot of the melee weapons, I would assume. These could be enemy weapons, but I'm assuming these are melee weapons. You have your axe, or your sledgehammer, your maces, your just like bat things. I'm not exactly sure. These seems like different attachments that actually can come on these melee weapons. As you see, you have your base one right here. Then maybe you'll get a random roll one with this thing on it, so it does more damage. This is probably an element on this weapon right here, because it has a different, like, hood part on it, I guess. I'm not exactly sure the terminology for these things. There are also some more stuff right here, so maybe this gives it, more attack speed, stuff like that. To make it more blunt, you might have these things or something. You kind of see what I'm getting. Maybe these increase attack speed, durability, anything like that. So this just seems like your melee weapon, but it's showing the random rolls that you can get on your melee weapons, which is really, really cool. Then we have our picture right here that it looks like the Dragon Lord area. It's super, super dark, like energy based. This again looks like from the overall view or from the board itself when they're playing on. Once you get in there, it's going to be completely different. But this does look like where the Dragon Lord stays, or maybe where he mass produces his army or something. Not exactly sure, but this is definitely a evil location. Then we have our mushrooms that everybody loves. This concept art of them. They look really, really cute still. They are like deadly cute. Then we have our spell books. So this is actually interesting because you have a book base, but then you have channeling, repeating, simple, and self-cast. So you already know a lot about those. If you haven't seen my, in-depth spells video, I will link that in the description if you guys like to go watch that, or I'll post it in the top right up there. But this is actually talking about everything that we already know from that article, but we have images of them. So Hawk, Ice Spike, Bolt, Fissure, Circle of Protection, Fireball, Hydra, Magic Missile, Eruption, and Meteor. So these are all the spell types. So what this seems to be is that you're basically combining all these together. Obviously you have your base book, so then you take your base book and you put what you want on it. So if it's going to be channeling, repeating, simple, or self-cast, you take whichever one you put on it. Obviously I don't think this is going to be craftable. It's probably just going to be random dropped in the game. It's just talking about how stuff can be randomly rolled with spells. And then you actually take your next thing and say you want, a Hydra. You can put that on base book, channeling Hydra. For example, over here, we take a look at the first one. This is clearly base book with channeling and fireball. So you're going to be able to channel fireball spells. And if we take a look at this one, this is going to be base book with channel repeating, and we're going to have the hawk. So you're going to be able to just constantly sling hawks everywhere if you get this spell book rolled right here. Now we have base book with simple, and then we also have the Hydra. So simple, you're just going to be able to cast a Hydra. And it's really, really cool. So I think this is just talking about how the spell system is going to work with these spell books. I think there will be more. There probably won't be more of the 4 types up here, but there probably will be more spells that we know. And obviously, there are going to be legendary spells and randomly rolled stuff as well. But this is a really, really cool look at how the spell system is going to work. Now, we actually get into our last picture, and this is just some of the dragons that we're probably going to find in the game. They're probably just notable dragons. Maybe once a raid boss, who knows? But obviously, since we're fighting the Dragon Lord, he's probably going to have a ton of dragons that we're going to have to seek down and kill in the campaign before we actually go fight him. Some of these dragons look really cool. They're very distinctive. This is like a lava one. This is like a nature one. This is like a air one type. I don't know. They also look really cool. This is like arc thunderish. I am really, really excited to see these in game. I'd imagine we're going to see these in game. I don't know why they would make the concept art about it if we're not going to see them in game. And just like everything else, you're going to see it in game. But like I said, this is concept art. So this could potentially change or be different when the game launches. But just know this is probably, 90% where we are going to get. And it's just an in-depth look at a bunch of the stuff that is coming to Wonderlands, and I'm super excited. Let me know how excited you guys are for this. What was your favorite image? What did you learn a lot from? Obviously, the bow and shotgun, pictures probably, mean the most to a lot of people because we really learned. But even things like this artwork is super cool, and it just makes me really excited for March 25th. But that is going to do it all for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.